You're now listening to the Palmetto Dugout Show, hosted by State Director Sammy Esposito, Associate Scouts Drew Stewart and Sean Smith, that discuss all things related to amateur baseball in South Carolina. Here are your hosts.
Welcome into the second part of the high school preview show, the second one. I've got Coach Blake Barron with the Lewisville Lions and Coach Espo. What's going on, Coach?
Not much, man. Just just got done with a little football practice. We're trying to extend the season as far into November and December as possible. So, I'm here now, and I'm glad to be here. Thank y'all for having me on tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. The football team rolling.
Football team's rolling. I bet if we had the Richburg Rocket on there, they might be able to tack on a couple more dubs this fall.
If we had the Richburg Rocket on our team, I'm telling you, sky's the limit in the number of points. It would look like a dang pinball score going on out there, just racking them up.
Stolen base record in the high school league would be shattered.
No doubt. We'd be lighting it up, son. You could count on him. If he was back at it right now, probably you could count on him for 50 stolen bases by himself.
In just the first half of the season.
First half of the season. First 13 games, 50 stolen bases. That's what we –
Coach used to call me the multi-tool, too, along with the Richburg Rocket.
Hey, look. That must have graduated with the Richburg Rocket, because I hadn't seen very many multi-tool players since the Richburg Rocket graduated this school.
No, the Richburg Rocket was the multi-tool in all facets of the game. We got to move on with this one before we get stuck on the Richburg. I don't think Coach has got any more Richburg Rockets left on his team, but we'll figure it out here in a minute. Coach, talk about last year, what you learned from the previous season.
Well, last year, we got off to a good start. I felt like we had a good core that came back, and we finished up the regular season. I want to say we were 16 and 9 going into the playoffs, and I felt good. But we run into a buzzsaw called St. Joseph's Catholic, and man, the day that they showed up on championship Monday for the district, I ain't never seen a bunch hit the ball like they did. I mean, they were hitting BBs and laser beams. It looked like a light show out there. Last year, like I said, we returned a lot of kids from the previous season. Most importantly, we returned most of our pitching. And Seth Morrow, who's big for us on the mound. Just looking at, he accounted for 48 innings pitched, so he was well over a third of our innings pitched by himself, and he had, I want to say he was 8-1 or 9-1. He won a lot of games for us, but I thought we had a good run last year. Like I said, obviously it came to an end way quicker than we had anticipated, but looking to get back to good baseball this year. So that's about what I from last year's team, or last season that we can account. We graduate 5 kids. So, that's something going into this year that we've got to learn how to replace and do it fast.
Hey, if you would have had, hold on, Coach, you got to add this quick in. If you would have had the Richburg Rocket, those lasers would have been caught.
No doubt. But, hey, listen.
It don't matter what they're hitting out there, boy, tracking them down in center.
Hey, we needed all the help. I'm going to be honest with you. I think we could have played with 4 outfielders last year in that game, and it still wouldn't have made a difference. They were hitting BBs, son. But, all credit to them. They showed up ready to play. And I knew they were a good team going into it. And I had spoke with Coach Renfro prior, and he's a good guy, and we'd had good talks or whatever, and I knew we were in for it. His bunch showed up; they were ready to play, and he made sure they were ready. I know we beat them in the first game that we played, and then they had to come beat us twice, and they showed up ready to do the work, put in the work on that day. So, kudos to them, not taking anything away from them. They had a good squad. So, but it's funny. The game of baseball. Some days you got it. Some days
especially when you get in that playoffs, right? Everybody's good. They're coming out now. You kind of talked about a little bit of last year, losing a couple guys. What are some returners that you got coming on before we kind of break in some new guys? But what are some returners you're looking to kind of help get that team back into the playoffs and make a run in there?
Well, I think we'll start right here. I'll start in alphabetical order and go down with my guys that I think are going to be guys for us this year. We have to start with Curtis Bowser. He was our left fielder last year. He's going to move over to center. Didn't do a whole lot of batting for us last year. We DH for him, but he's going to have to fill a spot in. I tell you what, if we can get him on base, he's a spark plug on base. He's a good base runner. He's very aggressive in a good way. He's very smart on the base path. So we got to find ways to get him on and get him involved in the offense. Returning this year, one of our middle infielders, Silas McFadden. He was a freshman last year, so he in his first full year of starting, I mean he batted .373 for us and scored 27 runs out of the 7th slot. So he's deep in the order. He's getting on. He even drove in 15 runs for us. Gavin Reynolds, who's another one that is returning, he's going to have to do a lot for us on the offensive side as far as driving in runs. And then Trey Smith, who batted 3rd for us last year, and although in the 3rd slot didn't drive in a ton of runs, but he scored a lot of runs for a big fella. So he scored 21 runs last year or whatnot. So those are the guys offensively that we're going to have to lean on coming into this year.
You talk about those returners. You got some leadership there at that position. What about I think me and Sammy know. What about some newcomers you got forthcoming for this new year?
Well, obviously the biggest one that we're gonna have to talk about is got to be Deion Brown. He was all region last year at Clover. He transferred in this summer to play for us. So he's a big talent. He's a Clemson commit. So I'm anxious to see what he brings to the table. Obviously, I've seen him play one time, and that was this summer at the Palmetto games. So I'm really anxious to see what he can bring to this lineup. Obviously, if we're going on past accolades, he did a lot for Clover last year as far as offensively, defensively, and on the mound in closer role. So I'm anxious to see what he brings to us this year. And another kid that I'm anxious to see, he's actually, quote unquote, he is kind of a newcomer, but this will be his first year that he really contributes a lot to our lineup, and that's Dylan Good. He's going to have to take over the catching role for us this year. So he replaces a 3-year starter in what we graduated last year in Xander Vanover. So he's got a big task on his hands. He's got to grow up fast. So, but he's another one that we're going to have to rely on. 2 kids that threw some innings for us last year, but didn't log a lot of playing time are Bryson Shaver and John Seegers. Shaver is going to have to figure in for us on the mound a good bit this year. He pitched for us a good bit last year in JV. So he's going to have to fit into our staff somewhere. Seegers is going to step into an outfielder's role. And then another one that I'm anxiously awaiting is Ian Grissom, who's our quarterback. He didn't play baseball last year, but he has expressed that he is definitely going to play this year. So I'm anxious to see what he brings to the table. So it's yet to be determined. Obviously, if we're talking about on paper, we look good, but as well as I do, you got to go out there and perform. You got to execute.
Well, in the great words of our hero here at PBR South Carolina, Deion Sanders, if you look good, you play good. You get paid good. So it's it kind of rolls in this. Obviously, returning some guys that got some stuff, and then obviously a couple newcomers coming in there. What are some expectations you guys kind of got going? And I know you still got some work to do, and got to make sure that the roster gets ironed out. But after you hopefully win a state championship here in football, but what are some expectations you guys got going in this spring?
Well, I mean, our program. I mean, we have a storied program here at Lewisville. Going back, almost 40 years. So the expectation's the same every year. It's to win the state championship. And I'm not going to say that was our expectation last year, and I'm not going to say because we didn't win it that it was a bust of a season. But at the end of the day, that's what's expected here of our kids, and that's what's expected of our coaching staff. So, we know it's not going to be handed to us. We're going to have to go out and earn it. But that's the expectation is to win the state. I mean, if I think I might have said it on here last year. The day that my expectation isn't to win a state championship is the day that it's time for me to start doing something else. Might be sell ice cream or, move on and stop coaching. Because I think that's if we're not in it to win to bring home the big gold, what are we actually doing? And I know people get into we're here to create young men, that are fit for, being citizens and contributing to society. But I think, those can be a byproduct of trying to go after the big goal. So that's my expectation. That's always going to be my expectation. Now, what we do in between, that's going to be something all of itself.
Yeah, no doubt. You talk about the expectations. My Richburg Rocket days; those were obviously the expectations there.
Maybe if the Rocket wasn't getting pinch hit for, DH for back in the day, maybe he'd have been able to do a little bit more damage.
Multi-tool would never.
Well, I mean, you think about it like this, and to me, and I'm not saying this because I'm the head coach here. I'm saying it because if you go back and look. Since 1983, so we're talking about a 41-year, this year will be a 41-year period. I mean, Lewisville has won 7 state championships. They finished runner-up. They won 2 upper state championships as well. And I think we've won 30 district titles in that time. I mean, so you talk about that. You've been a part of the Elite 8, quote unquote, in the playoffs 30 of the last 41 years. I mean, that says a lot. And, so to me, that's what you're looking for. I mean, it's no different than when people turn on the TV in the fall for Duke basketball or North Carolina basketball. That's what they expect. I mean, so and for us here at Lewisville, that's what we expect. We expect to be playing deep into May, and that's what we want. That's what we gear every day towards. Is we want to be one of the last playing. We want to be the last team standing. That's the goal every year. But make it deep into May and let the chips fall where they may. Because like I said, you're dealing with a lot of good programs in the state right now, especially the 3-headed monster that is the Greenville region. Between Southside, St. Joe's, and Christ Church, and then you sprinkle in the lower state, who, Lakeview is always going to be in the conversation. Coach Erlon does a great job down there. Johnsonville's been in the mix the last few years. Pamplico has mixed in some down there. Bamberg is, still kicking. East Clarendon, now, they're good in the lower state. And then also in the upper state, you had some teams last year made some good runs out of Dixie and Ware Shoals. McBee, I think they're going to figure big into this thing this year. So, there's a lot of good baseball in 1A right now. But, like I said, we pride ourselves on, our tradition and history, and it's, it's the next group up, next man up, and it's time for, this group understands that that's the expectation. That's what we want to get to. So we want to be playing championship caliber baseball in May.
Yeah, no doubt. We got one last question for you. I did not prep you with this question, but it's a very easy question for you. Talk about some things you're looking forward to, but in specifics with a game or a tournament that you're most looking forward to.
Well, I think, for us, I always look forward. I think this year with MacB, it came down last year. The region championship came down. It was a 2-1 ball game, at their place. So we always look forward to our series with them. We've started a tradition last year with Chesterfield that we're going to continue to do. We go down and we play them at Francis Marion every year now, or we're going to try and keep that trend going. So we'll travel to them in March and play them at Francis Marion. I always look forward to playing in our preseason tournament, the Comporium, because between Andrew Jackson, who's been up as of the last few years, Indian Land plays in that tournament, Lancaster, us, Central Pageland, and Buford. Those are some blue blood names in each of their classifications. So we look forward to playing in that tournament every year. I like our schedule top to bottom. I really do. There's a lot of teams in there that, like I said, they're strong traditionally programs and they're coached very well. And to me, that's what you want to do. You want, no matter, to me, programs that are coached very well year in and year out, you're going to get, a good showing out of them. So that's the programs that we want to play is those that, that are coached well and they do the right things. And then always the Richburg Rockets should know that we always look forward to playing Great Falls. You know what I mean? Big Rock, we always look forward to playing those guys.
Hey, I think I enjoyed the MacB series a little too much when I was there. I think they had some dudes. It was us against them about every year. Obviously those are big games for you guys. Coach, maybe I'm hoping that the Richburg Rocket can fly down for a game again this year or make it 3 years in a row.
Well, hopefully so. We would love we would love to have the Richburg Rocket back to throw out the first pitch at one of our games.
Coach.
So I'm putting you on the spot
right
there.
What about the Rocket Night? You know what I mean? Maybe we just make a whole night out of this thing. We can just call it the Richburg Rocket Night. We can get out some bobbleheads.
Hold on. The student section can dress up in like astronaut outfits. And see, we just got to.
I think we need to make this thing happen.
We can. Hey, look. If the Rocket will show up for a game, we will make Rocket Night. We will make that happen. I can assure you.
Those tickets will be hot, boy.
I know the folks that can get that going.
Hey, I think we need to start getting them tickets on sale right now. I don't know if there'll be a seat in the house open.
Sold out already.
You'll have more of that game than you would a state championship game, Coach.
People are going to be going, who the heck is this Rocket kid?
Hey, if they don't know now, they will know after Rocket Night. We will definitely look into getting that thing going. So yeah.
Oh gosh, we done had a little too much fun.
The entire staff of PBR South Carolina will be in attendance for Rocket Night. We will have more. There will be more coverage on Rocket Night than in the history of any PBR state high school game ever. Not just South Carolina, any state.
I would expect no less. I would expect no less if the Rocket decided to come back for one more go round. I tell you what we need to do. We need to do an exhibition so we can let the Rocket play one more time. Let him dress in the blue and gold.
No fly zone.
Coach, how about instead of a first pitch, we let him steal?
Hey, how about that?
Maybe a third to home, he'd come in.
I tell you what.
Willie Mays Hayes sliding in with the credit card.
We can do it. Don't steal home without it, baby.
Y'all are awful. We went over here now. Coach, I appreciate you hopping on, obviously.
No, I thank y'all for having me on. It's always great to have a conversation with you guys, and we appreciate all you do for high school baseball in the state of South Carolina, not only for us at Lewisville, but everybody else in South Carolina, whether that be the high school league or the SCISA schools. Y'all doing a great job. Thank y'all for what you do for us.
We appreciate
you, Coach. Yeah, and thank you very much, and good luck. Hey, before we get to good luck this spring, good luck rest of this fall. finish that thing out, get you a championship, and good luck this spring.
I certainly appreciate it, and that's the goal every day when we show up. We want to pack that trophy case some more. You know what I mean? So
No doubt
that's
about
our
it.
goal. We're trying to make it to Orangeburg. So,
hey, as they say, once a lion, always a lion. Espo, we're gonna tag out on that one. Richburg Rockets signing off.